in Columbus, Ohio's capital, voters waited as long as 2.5 hours today to cast their ballots.
People waiting in line for 9 hours to vote, some getting discouraged and actually going home without exercising their franchise.
People waiting for as long as 15 hours to vote in line because they only had 2 places to vote.
I'm trying to put together a popular-oriented book, and as a preliminary, I've been listing the different ways that the election was stolen in Ohio, and I've at this moment I'm at 36. So I expect to get to about 50. The scope of the theft is almost unfathomable. And I think it's one of the reasons people have difficulty dealing with it, is because they did so many different things.
They knew we had a record turnout this year. They did nothing to accommodate us. Nothing.
There should have been 14 voting machines at this site. There were only 6.
Working people in the morning had to leave because they couldn't stay in line for 2 hours.
There was one phone number for every precinct in the county to call with problems, so needless to say, every time we tried to reach them during the day, it was busy.
Bush and Kerry, they made all these trips to Ohio for our votes. They should have been here today. You know, they should see what's going on.
If they had just gone in there and rigged the voting machines, or had just gone in there and miscounted the ballots, or had just intimidated people, or had just sent out fake flyers telling Democrats to vote on Wednesday, maybe people could have figured it out, but they realized, I think, that they were going to have to pick up quite a few votes, and it was a full court press.
During the hours of 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., everyone was turned away due to broken machines.
What I saw was voter intimidation in the form of city employees that were sent in to stop illegal parking.
I attempted to vote in the same place that I voted in the primaries and was told that my name was not on the rolls.
On Franklin County, there are no votes for David Cobb. Well, that's a problem. I voted for David Cobb.
It was clear that something had happened that deserved to be put on the record. The election day process itself was a huge, confused. The lines were long, the machines were misallocated.
Every county had its own story, almost literally. There are 88 counties in Ohio, and there were riggings going on in every different way that you can imagine in every different county.
The polls had opened an hour late. They did not open until about 7:30 a.m. The polling machines were locked in the principal's office. Hundreds of people were turned away, were forced to leave the line because they needed to be at school, they needed to be at work, or they needed to take their children to school.
We had 2 voting machines for 1,300 people in our county, one of which was broken for 2 hours, the first 2 hours of the day, from 6:30 to 8:30.
For me to sit in the precinct in which I grew up, in Columbus, Ohio, 10 days after the election, and listen to scores of people, black and white, talk about how they were denied their vote in the year 2004 in Columbus, Ohio, is an assault on everything that we were raised to believe.
These were things and practices that you could see were happening that were not fair, were not encouraging voting, and that were pretty blatant as well.